As we always say, it was just trying to avoid getting a real job, weren't it? I mean, we both obviously very passionate about football shirts. Like, we wanted, to be able to go to five-a-side in a classic Germany 1990, something like that. You go online, there's no such place to buy such a shirt. If we want those type of shirts, there's got to be some people in the world who want the same.
First sale was actually 2 or 3 days before we were meant to launch. We were testing it out, and then a customer from Norway bought a Liverpool '89 shirt. I think Morton for $64.99 from memory.
Yeah. Prices back in the day, yeah. There was an initial bit of a launch, weren't there, people buying stuff, and then it kind of just dropped off, and we had probably a 10-day period in about October 2006 where we didn't sell anything. I think we scraped together like 250 quid to put an advert in the back of 442, and then after a couple of weeks of people seeing that, the orders started coming in, and then there was never really any looking back after that.
There were two really. There was one collection that we got that was Man United shirts back then as well. It was like 2006 obviously, so there's a lot been since then, but everything was pristine. It was home and away and third for every single shirt going back to like 1980 I think it was.
Obviously just refreshing the orders, seeing who's buying, and then he spent like a fair few £100 and it's Darren Fletcher with a Manchester address. You're like, that must be, is it him? We shit ourselves, to be honest, didn't we? We were like, oh, we've got to get it out. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like, we've got to get this out now, like, we've got to wash it all, we've got to dry it all, we've got to prepare it all, and completely.
Well, there were 2 shirts we couldn't find.
Somehow,
even though it's quite a small house. It had like one more bedroom, which for us at the time was a big upgrade. Yeah. But we still managed to cram shirts into our own bedrooms. My bedroom was the photography studio, as I remember, and the living room was like the main office in terms of where we sent orders out from. Some of it, and then in my car I had an old Volkswagen Golf, so we chucked as many shirts as we could in there. I'd say one of the standout ones was a Johan Cruyff Washington Dips match worn, which, I mean, at the time you think you're going to get more shirts like that because you don't really know what's going to come. So that's probably one of the ones that really stands out that
we've never had another.
Yeah, we've never had another. I mean, even like NASL shirts are very hard to get hold of, and for such an iconic player as well, to have a match shirt of that's one we kind of look back on with a bit of regret, to be honest.
But it was here that we got the confidence, really, after like 2 years of trading, that this was a proper business and it was time that we got a proper place, really.
We had more of an idea that it was like a consistent business.
Yeah, you say a more professional environment. I mean, it wasn't as swanky as it is now back then.
We'd always work extra hours, say the heating would go off December, January time. We were wearing Fiorentina padded jackets.
It was a bit bizarre. I mean, we'd have lorries coming down here that we'd have to handball cardboard boxes upstairs and into the offices. We'd pass like solicitors and other type of like proper businesses. We'd pile them all up to different sizes and count them all in the corridors until like 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we did some real rooting around back in the day. We ended up in someone's garage in Birmingham who had pallet loads of Rochdale shirts from the early 2000s.
I wouldn't say we were necessarily nervous. It was more excitement to fill it. We probably took up about 10-20% of it when we first moved in.
Yeah, there was talk of a 5-a-side pitch at the beginning.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were the dreams, weren't they? Bloody hell.
It was packed, last time we were in it, literally door to door, wall to wall, full of shirts, boxes, everything. The AC Milan stuff took up about a quarter of that, and we just used to walk around, pick out the best stuff from it and get it on. I mean, we were selling some stuff then. When you look back now at what, or even I think the away ones were $19.99 or $14.99 for a bit.
I mean, out of that AC Milan deal, though, we've still got boxes.
Yeah,
of that
there's
we've never sorted
still a
out.
few pallets. Of towels, underpants, some dressing gowns. I think still in there. The biggest one was probably after AC Milan was one for like a Nike player issue. That took up quite a
it was like
space
you got
for us.
it was like 2011-12 season, wasn't it? Man United, Barcelona, PSG. We'd sold player issues shirts before, but it was never them in such quantity. And it was that time when they put like the T-bar stuff on, and there was like the plastic transfer logo,
down the side,
ventilation holes. So they were like a lot different to the replicas. You know, when we started, it was about getting classic shirts, and then it was getting the clearance shirts, and also be the place where you can get those player issue shirts.
Yeah, we found like
well.
our Far East buyers, that was what they were really looking for, something a bit different that you couldn't find elsewhere.
2014, we put the mezzanine floor in. Let's have a look up there.
Across everything, like shorts and socks and all the other items that we had, about 500,000
By the end.
Yeah, by the end. I mean, not far off 2014, probably around 2016, 2017.
Storeroom. So this is where we put all the classic shirts. How did we fit it all in here? It's just bizarre. It's incredible to think how many tens of thousands of shirts have been hung up in this room once upon a time.
I'd say just like the progression from moving in, you can kind of like picture the different stages of it. We kind of did every job there was to do in there. So it was nice at the end when we had up to about 80 staff that you could kind of sit back and kind of see the progression of it. It was a fitting end as well. We had like Ian Wright come round literally the month before we were moving, and obviously as an Arsenal fan, like growing up, he was one of my heroes, so it was a really good end to it.
When we started here, it was just bare bones, and then by the end you've got Ian Wright, Juan Mata,
Henrik Larsson.
We couldn't have dreamt they would ever grow into that really back in 2011.
It was crazy to think, you know, we had the first shop was on Cheshire Street in London, which was about 400 square foot, and we literally wasn't expecting many people at all, and we couldn't actually fit any more people in the shop. So by the end, they were queuing. Yeah, they were queuing down the road for it.
Yeah, 2018 was amazing. You know, the Nigeria shirt. We just got up and running with the pop-up shops. I think we had one on Rivington Street at that time. Big like Harry Kane graffiti outside. Across the pop-up shop and the website, we pretty much ran out. We just had one 2010 away with Matthew Ulpson on the back.
Finally grown up, I think. Obviously changed a little bit since the two houses that you just saw, which was just me and Doug, but yeah, there's about 10 people now sending orders every day, and obviously if you put an order in, this will be where it's sent out. So you can see all of the clearance stock on the bays here,
and then the classics are over here. Let's have a look.
For me, it'd have to be the first ever shirt that I got, which was the Arsenal 95 away shirt. It's such an iconic shirt, even from fans from other teams, they'd look at it and remember it for the lightning bolt pattern.
For me, it'd have to be West Germany 1990. This is the shirt I always wanted as a kid, and searching for this and getting my hands on it back in 2006 was one of the reasons why we started TFS. So yeah, this one means a lot.
Does this mean that this is your favourite sweat top? It was only since about 2016 that we started to keep shirts. Yeah. Like, up until that, there were a lot of shirts that we wish we would have kept.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, back like we've said before, it's all about helping other people build their collections and not really about building our own. But then we just started to get in so many amazing shirts that eventually it was impossible to resist making our own collection. To put together something that we could use as an exhibition for museums and things in the future. With how many of the modern designs are based on the past, that to have these original pieces so that the brands and designers can come round and have a look and take inspiration from them. It means that as football shirt collectors, they're more likely to be these iconic, classic things of the past. To help tell the story of football shirts and the progression of how important they are to the history, and look after these shirts and make sure that they live on for the next 50 to 100 years.